Good morning. See, but it's easy being me. Man, you gotta love this. You gotta love it. How's everyone doing on this beautiful Tuesday morning? I hope you guys didn't do what I did, and that's eat up all the barbecue sausage, eat up all the barbecue baked beans, eat up all the food that was in front of you, and then you weren't any good for the rest of the day. But that's what we do on Memorial Day, man. We eat, we enjoy life, we enjoy our family, friends, and loved ones. And so yeah, that's just what we do, man. It's a great opportunity to rekindle life with the people we love. So hey, then we're here on the next day and we're fat and we're overstuffed like a turkey. Just don't put us in the grease, y'all. Hey, man. Oh, but I'm finna put this guy in the grease. Make it hot for him. A little bit hot for him. A little bit hot for him. Our guest today, man, he got a little baby face, so y'all don't hold that against him now. A little baby face, but he a veteran in this game. He a veteran in this game. Prep News Sports family, please welcome Sean Andrus, Lake Charles College Prep Trailblazers, boys basketball. What's up, coach?
Not much, man. Good morning, man. Happy to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, beautiful day. I don't know how it is out there, but in Lake Charles, it's sunny out here. Just coming off a holiday, and it's summer league, summer camp, team camp season right now. So I'm ready to get back to it. Good times.
Right, man. Let's start right here. Tell us who Sean Andrus is, man.
I know you do hinted at the baby face and all of that, man, but Sean Andrews is a guy that been coaching, for a while. I'm 15 years in the game, going on 16. I started coaching, when I was in McNeese. I was still doing my undergrad stuff, and I had a former assistant coach reach out to me because he kind of knew that I loved the game. I wanted to get back into it once I graduated. So he had got at me and, tried to see if I wanted to get on staff. So I started my coaching at Sulphur High as an assistant coach while I was still in college. I did that for, I think, 4 years, 5 years or so. And then I moved on, got a middle school job once I graduated from college at FK White, a local middle school in Lake Charles, and been doing that for a while. And then, 2 years ago, I ended up taking this job at Prep. But before that, I was the assistant coach at LaGrange for the Lady Gators, where we won 2 state championships back to back. So, I've been doing this for a while, man. I know I'm young, but I don't know how good my camera's showing, but I got a lot of gray hair, and that comes from so many years of being in the game. But I love it, man. Like, I don't know what I'd be doing without it. And I love the lessons that it taught me as a youngster, and I'm trying to pass it on and pay it forward. So, I'm just happy to be in this profession.
Hey man, you ain't get that gray hair from coaching. You got that gray hair from dealing with Lakeem Holmes. I'm sure of that.
Yeah,
So,
man.
Coach
Hey,
Holmes,
that's my brother right there. But that dude there, man, he keep you busy 24/7. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a real grind with him, but that's my dog, man. But I tell you what, as much as he make you laugh, you're right. That's probably where I got them grades from. Not the kids, but him. That's a big kid right there.
yeah, man, he funny guy, man. I like Coach Holmes, man. He definitely gonna keep you challenged and keep you on your toes to be doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Right,
Um,
right.
man, let's where did you get your passion for kids, and when did you know that you wanted to be a coach?
So I kind of knew I wanted to be a coach real early on because I love the game. I played it, like I said, in high school. I played 4 years at Sulphur High, led it for 3 of those years. One year we made it to the top 28 and lost in the semifinals to Brother Martin by one in '04. And I always kind of knew I wanted to stick around the game. Once my playing career ended, what I'm saying, in high school, I was like, well, maybe a coach. So again, I started coaching at Sulphur High, and once I graduated, I didn't start off the traditional path of wanting to be an educator. Like I just wanted to coach, maybe train some kids on the side and everything. But So my job that I got actually out of college was I worked at the juvenile detention center, and I did that for a year, and being around those kids that had maybe made a decision that kind of put them on the path of where they didn't want to be in life. I kind of seen like, man, I don't want to be here trying to talk to kids about something that they can do. I want to try to get to them before they get to this space. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So that kind of pushed me to get back into not just coaching but education, and get a chance to, be around young boys and young girls that look like me. I've always taught in schools that, the majority of the students look like me, and I feel like that's a way that they can relate. And that's one of the things that, you know, I wish I had growing up more was, an adult teacher or coach that looked more like me, because I can relate to them. It's easier to talk to them about my problems. I feel like, hey man, you've been there. So that's kind of the things that gives me the passion to be in education right now, is because man, we literally are the profession that leads to other professions. Without us, man, it's no doctors, it's no firefighters, police officers, anything. So I really feel like this is a key profession in order to help young people get to where they need to be. And I wanted to affect them before, maybe they went down a path that they didn't want to go down. So, that's why I'm in it. That's why I love it. That's where my passion comes from, you
right,
know.
right. That's outstanding, man. A lot of young guys have your story, um, from a perspective of what you've seen and how you want to affect change, and that's a great place to be in, because the reality is we need more men in the educational system. The color is the color, you can't change that, but kids seem to respect the male figure in authority in the school system of any color. You know, they
Right,
they just don't. Sometimes a kid will maybe try to walk over a female
right.
teacher, that especially that's young in the game. I think that's why we have so many people that go and spend 4 or 6 years, getting bachelor's degrees and master's degrees, sometimes at the same time, but then they're not ready for the challenge of dealing with the cultural differences at the schools they go to, and the challenge is just a little tough for them. And so
Right, right.
maybe it needs to be a school before you get to school, to where you can actually see if teaching is going to be for you before you go and get all those student loans and get into debt.
Right, you ain't lying. And I mean, I look at it like they try to educate you as much as they can about, what you're gonna deal with in the classroom management and everything. But again, everybody's path to success ain't the same. It's the same way in teaching. Like everybody's teaching style not the same. So, some people like to, be drill sergeants and tough on their students and this, that, and other. And that works for some of them. Some might be on a little more lighter side, but I mean, it's different ways to skin a cat, man. And I feel like, a lot of people get in this profession for the wrong reason. They come in thinking about, oh man, I want to get into it because I got, weekends and holidays off and the summer off. And, if you had that mentality, man, you in it for the wrong reasons.
Them
Uh,
eight and a half months don't seem pleasurable.
nah, hey, I tell you what though, man, if you really doing it right, man, like it's a year long process. Like me, I'm at school right now. We're technically off, but I mean, it's 12 months over here, man. Like if you really care about your kids and your student athletes, man, especially, you're gonna be here all the time, and we don't get paid for the hours that we work, man. So this is free hours. So you really have to love this, man. Like it really is, and it truly is a calling to be an educator and a coach, man, because it's not easy, dealing with this profession. But it's something again that I love doing, and through all the heartache and pain and I mean, again, like the ultimate goal is to, of course, when you're talking about basketball, is hey, everybody want to make it to the state championship and win, but that's not the ultimate goal. Like if you look at it this way, it's only one winner each year, and you're gonna always be down. But if you're in it for the right reasons, which is to see young people become great young men and young women in society, and just watch them when they graduate and come back to you when they got kids of their own, or they're in their profession, or they got a college degree, and they just come back and say thank you. That's what you're really in it for, man. And like, if you can see that as a young teacher and get past all of the tough times to start off, then you'll be fine, man. You're gonna make it through. But a lot of teachers don't understand that. They come in for, again, oh man, I get to have vacation for 2 months, man. I get to go here, there, and everywhere. Like, nah, that's not what you're here for, man. You're here to help young people pay it forward, man, and help the next generation after them.
Right. Man, when you see yourself starting off as a middle school coach, what were some of the things that you've learned that's helped you improve every day as a coach? Talking to some guys that started in the middle school ranks as well. They've said things like, "Oh man, it definitely helps you see the game in a different manner because nobody's good at the middle school level." And so, what's your story with middle school basketball?
So that's actually where I first met Coach Holmes, man. He was actually the head coach at the middle school that I started working at, when I came in and was his assistant. So we've been knowing each other for over a decade, man. And I mean, it's one of those things where in middle school, that was never the dream. I always wanted to get to high school, get back to it, and coach at that level. But it really taught me how to get to understand young people, because they in middle school they hang on to everything that you say. Like in high school, they pretty much they're close to being adults, so they kind of have their own habits already. But in middle school, they really look at you as like a father figure.
Right.
And like they hang on to every word. They might act like they tough and this, that, and other, but they cry, just as much as elementary kids, especially when they lose a game, they crying and this, that, and other. But it really taught me, how to be a better person, and look at the kid I'm coaching, the individual's personality, not just look at it and attack it from, trying to teach the fundamentals and this, that, and other, because that's what they need at that level a lot, is the fundamentals. But the thing is, man, it's all about the Jim and Joe first. Like, I can teach you how to square up, how to jump stop properly, how to make a right hand and left hand layup. But I mean, if they don't know that I care, they don't care. They're not gonna go out there and work on everything if they think it's just about the game. And that's the biggest thing that I learned at that level, is learning how to get to understand the kid that I'm coaching first. And whether it's sometimes, they might need a ride home one day after practice because, like, they tell you, "Coach, I can't come to practice today because I don't have a ride." Well, I mean, sometimes you got to just be there for them at another level. And it kind of, helped me learn how, because I don't have kids of my own, but how to care for somebody like they were my own kids. And, that's helped me in the high school level as well. But I feel like those years in middle school really, really hammered that for me.
Man, you get to the high school level, um, you get on to Coach Holmes' staff. He had a plan, man, and he kept saying he had a plan. Um, some people may think he's quite a bit arrogant or overly
That's that New
confident,
Orleans in it, man. There's that confidence.
but at the end of the day, he was right about the plan that he had, and he did a lot of good. How was it being under the leadership of Coach Holmes, and what was one of the primary things that you learned from him?
Um, Family, man. I mean, it's kind of funny that, me and him was joking about the other day, because I literally been knowing this dude for over a decade, and he started off as, a football guy. And like being around me, we had kind of talked about basketball so much that he always would tell me, like, man, I never had plans to be a basketball coach, man. I was just doing this as a side hustle because I was coming in to be the middle school football coach. And then they're like, "Hey, you want to coach girls basketball?" And I ended up in it. You know what I'm saying? So I literally been there to see him through his growth through the years, and my growth as well. It's like my brother. And the family aspect, it's funny, he bald headed, man. I always joking, call him old Vin Diesel for Fast and the Furious, because everybody that comes on the staff, he turned him into family. You know what I'm saying? He a very loyal dude. Literally, that's my brother. And he's another person that kind of, left that impression on me of building that bond with those kids and not just looking at it from a basketball standpoint, but looking at it as a role model, trying to grow young men and young women into the next, you know. And he always would say, man, when I would get frustrated, like, man, don't get frustrated because it seems like you're not reaching everybody. As long as you can reach one, then you're doing your job. That's who you do it for. You know what I'm saying? And that's his constant thing. That's why he's had so much success at LaGrange. You know, whether he's had, you know, the Gerard Warrens, the Asia Sams, the Deja Tanks, you know, so many young ladies that played for him to now what he has there, you know, with the young talent that he has there is because he's truly treated all those young ladies as family. He's truly treated all his staff as family. And it's easy to work with somebody like that. Like
Right.
we might not agree about everything, like we disagree a lot, you know, but it's the fact that I know that I can be honest with him and vice versa.
Right.
That built that bond, and that's why I love being on that staff with him. And that's what I try to, you know, build over here as well with my staff. Is that same kind of family mentality? Because I feel like, you know, you're only as good as your assistant coaches, man. If your assistant coaches can't trust you, you know what I'm saying? If they feel like you're just a guy that's treating them like staff, then I mean they're not gonna cut for you, man. But if it's somebody that they know, hey man, look, this dude right here, man, whether my car broke down, you know, he gonna come drive and come pick me up, man, and get me here, man. If it's something that's going on personally, you know, I can go talk to my head coach about it. And, you know what I'm saying? It's a family bond. That's the same people that's going to be in the trenches with you and battle with you. And
Right.
again, like I say, I owe that to, you know, Coach Holmes, man. Like that's the guy that kind of brought that into me, you know, and I try to steal some from every staff that I've been on in terms of like, you know, how they coach things or culture or X's and O's. And like, that's what I got from him, man. It's just family, man. Treat everybody like your family. Because when you create a family like that, man, it's a lasting bond past, you know, high school. It's gonna last forever because you know you create those memories.
Right. On the girls' side, you did get to, you know, to coach and be a part of some elite girls playing career. You know, again, you mentioned Sam's and Tanks. What would you learn from those young ladies and them having their own work ethic, them having their own drive, their own determination, and they wanted to win? Like you saw
Mhm.
that every time they got on the court, they left everything they had out on the court, especially in big games. What'd you learn from those young ladies that you integrated into coaching these young men that you coach now?
Just the growth and work ethic does not happen overnight. Like I literally been coaching a bunch of these young ladies since, you know, they were in middle school. You know, again, I was there at the beginning with Coach Holmes and everything. So just seeing them throughout the years and the growth and remembering like how it was hard to get some in the gym, you know, when they're in sixth grade, seventh grade, because they, you know, they wanted to go do other things. But then the older they got, they started locking in, they started taking it serious. They started saying, man, I want to play on the next level. And how they would put in the numerous hours of doing individuals, skill training, watching film, just how they would stay in shape and really hit the weight room hard. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of things I've seen. I try to bring it over here as well, you know, with my boys now. You know, this program over here, and I'm sure we're gonna get to it, it's a very young program, a very young school. So it really doesn't have any history, any culture of winning over here in terms of the boys basketball side. So those lessons that I've learned from LaGrange and from coaching these young ladies, I try to incorporate over here because at the end of the day, man, they the same, man. Those girls, you know, they were hungry. They'll come out there and they'll beat some dudes, they'll outwork some dudes. So I try to tell it to my guys. And I remember, you know, Gerard, who plays at Florida, she came down last summer to work out with me and over here at prep. And some of my guys in here, you know, they look at it and be like, oh, she a girl, she ain't nothing. And she'll end up busting them up in one-on-one and everything. And next thing you know, they look at it like, man, I was like, yeah, I'm trying to tell you, man, don't look at her just because she's a young lady that she can't bust you up, man. She was hooping is hooping. At the end of the day, everybody got to put their shoes on. Everybody got to put the ball in the basket. So, you know, if you're gonna work, it's gonna show. You get out what you put in, and that's what I'm trying to get my young men over here to understand is, man, you got to put in the work over here. It's not about just coming to the gym during practice, man. It's about the extra hours that nobody see. That's where you really get it in at, you know.
Coach.
Yep, still here, still
Sorry
here.
about that, man. We had a power surge over here, man.
Ah, that's all good,
Man,
man.
we don't even switch sides of the camera, man.
Yeah, man. They got me on the left now. I don't
Yeah,
remember what the last thing you had heard on me, man.
uh, man, you were talking about how the girls came in and would you know, I guess you could say whoop on them boys' heads, and
Yeah.
they didn't think that it was possible. But again, that's what work ethic and believing in yourself comes in at.
Yeah, yeah, and it's all about just getting out what you put in, man. Like the work works, man. Um, if you come in and you just do the bare minimum, I tell my boys, man, you the bare minimum boys if you don't put in the work, bro. Like you can't just come in for practice and expect, all right, we're going from 2:30 to 4:30 today. And after that, I'm gone. Like, nah, man, you need to get here at least by 1:45, get yourself stretched, get you some warm-up shots. Then we start a 2-hour practice. Then after that, man, you need to get some shots after that, and you take care of your body. Get in that ice room, ice down, rehab yourself and recuperate so you be ready for the next day. Like you literally, you got to treat it a different way if you want to win. So I'm trying to bring that over here for my boys in year 3, and I feel like with 3 years in, the guys are finally starting to get it a little bit. You know.
Right. So you get the call from then AD, now principal Freddie Harrison, telling you that you had the position of head boys basketball coach. What feeling and emotion did that bring for you in getting a head coaching position?
Um, I guess it was time. Like I've never applied for a job that I didn't get. And I ain't gonna lie, Freddie made it tough, man. I had to go through like 4 different interview processes, and it was like a 2-month process and everything. And I really had to work for it. I passed up on some other jobs that people had interest in me, either being an assistant coach on their staff or coming to be the head coach. And I just felt like this was the one that was speaking to me. So when I finally got the call, and Freddie was like, "Hey, man, it's yours if you want it." It's kind of like a weight off my shoulders. Finally being able to run a program from top to bottom. And it was excitement. I was being nervous because it was something new. You know what I'm saying? I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. But I mean, again, great things come out when you step out of your comfort zone. If you stay somewhere where you're comfortable all the time, like, you're just not gonna grow. And that's what we talk about over here all the time. Like, man, you gotta grow each day, grow your staff, grow your kids, even grow yourself, you know. And it was just time, man. My shoes getting a little too small, being an assistant coach, so it's time to get a bigger pair. So I mean, that's where I'm at now, man. Like I'm enjoying it. Again, it's summer season, so every time it gets to summer season, I always reflect on the year previously, and I just look at the growth that my boys had in year 2 from year 1, and I can't wait to see the growth that we're gonna have in year 3.
Talk to us about the growth.
Man, it was a big jump. So when I got here, in year 1, the previous team, I think they had won 9 games, and the year before 8 games. They kind of had a tough time, with COVID, and again, the school is very young. The school is only 9 years old, so we haven't had a gym here until last January. That was the first time we actually had a gym on campus. So, it was a struggle for the previous coaches in terms of finding places to practice and have games and just develop the program. So I kind of came in at the right time. And year 1, like I said, had to deal with not having a gym for 6.5 months. And it was a struggle trying to get young men to buy into what I was trying to sell. Again, like we have a very good football team over here that's pretty much known around the state, but it's no culture in basketball. Like it's nothing. You go to some of the traditional schools, and you walk in the gym, you see all kind of state championship banners and district championships and players of the year. Was at purpose nothing. Like our mascot is trailblazing. We literally are trying to blaze our trail every day that we try to build. So, in year 1, I had a young team full of sophomores and, a couple freshmen, and I had 2 juniors. and we kept building, man. It was a long process. We ended up going 16-11 my first year, so you know that was a big jump from year one of what the previous year that they had. Going 16-11, and we ended up losing in the first round, the playoffs to Lutcher. Year two, it started off in the off season, man. I had a couple guys coming in and wanted to start putting in the work in the off season and start trusting in the process of everything that I was preaching. And we had a good summer last summer. We played a lot of summer league games, going to Zachary and Beauchamp and Northside, and it kind of sharpened our iron a little bit, playing against some of those programs that were upper echelon around the state.
Right.
And we came into this year returning everybody. Now it's everybody, juniors and a couple seniors. And we were the team that nobody really knew about, really, and people still don't know about us. But we just, every time somebody played us, they seen how hard we played, they seen how tough we were, how gritty we were on defense. And guys started having fun playing basketball. And I think the big breakout for us was the Hamilton Christian Showdown in the late. We were a late ad, and I think it was a 16-team field, and we made team 17. So we had to play in a play-in game like it was the NBA. Coach Washington, he's a genius, man, because he had us playing against Washington Marion, who's been known as a powerhouse, especially in our area, but around the state, they've always been the program. When you think of Lake Charles basketball, you think of Washington Marion. And we ended up playing them in the play-in game in a packed gym. I think Coach Washington said, man, he made like just $5,000 just off of our gate alone because it was a packed gym. And my guys, instead of being nervous, they stepped up to the plate and won that game. And it gave them all kind of confidence to see that, hey, man, we can play at this level. And we had ended up playing tough teams like Walsman and Hanville, Ash, Bossier, who won state championship in Division II this year. And we ended up winning, all those games except for the Walsman game. And that tournament kind of showed us like, hey, man, you ready to play at the state level if you guys just buy into what we're selling. And we ended up having a good year. We ended up going 26-7. That was the most wins in school history on the boys' side. We made it to the second round, had to play LB Landry. We lost by 2 points, pretty much at the buzzer in New Orleans. So I take that as something that's a building block. Like, I don't believe in moral victories, but I believe in building blocks. And, that was definitely a great show for my team, especially for, having, 6 guys from that team coming back again for the next, actually 7 guys coming back from that team that made it to the second round. So, it was a great season for us in terms of taking a step forward. So I'm ready to see what's next.
When you think about the small steps that you've made, what are you looking for from your team in this upcoming summer? What goals have you set as a head coach for your boys?
So we have, a saying that I tell my kids is keep the main thing the main thing. And the main thing right now is growth. Our motto is grind. Every day that we touch the court, whether it's for practice, workouts, or playing a game, we're grinding out here, man. And I just want to see those guys continue to build that mentality. And now that I'm 3 years in and I have, seniors now that have been with me since sophomores, they are starting to preach the mentality to my incoming freshmen, to my sophomores. And that's what I'm really looking for is, are my kids starting to speak the language that my coaches speak? And now that they're doing that, that's what I want to continue to see, because, in year one, you come in, you try to set that foundation of discipline, accountability, and just holding kids to that standard that you want to set. And it's tough because as a coach, you're speaking a lot while you're also holding your assistant coaches accountable as well, and trying to get them to where you want to be. And, I feel like we're building off of that, because now I don't have to get on somebody. If somebody walk in this gym late, it's not me saying it, it's the players now. Hey, man, go ahead, catch the line, bro. And that's what I'm looking for, is the growth in terms of, are your players starting to hold each other accountable so you don't have to speak as much on that. And that's what we're trending towards, and that's what we're going to continue to do in year 3. We still have a long way to go in terms of, trying to compete around the state, but I guarantee you we're going to try to play the best, because, you're not going to get better if you're playing people that you know you can beat. That's not what it takes. Like you have to play, the South Sides and the Zachary's and the Madison Preps, you know what I'm saying, to see where you're at. And you might get beat by 2030, but hey man, that's how you get better. You
Right,
look at that and you learn how to build and grow from it if you want to build a program to possibly be at the stature of those programs.
right, right. When you figured out that your kids had a definite grasp on what you were trying to get them to see, and then you saw them accomplish those tasks, what was the next challenge you put forward for your kids?
Again, just building that bond of brotherhood. Uh, Older guys, starting to take young guys under their arm and coach them up. Do individuals with them. Just talk to them. Like we have a big team group chat, which is something that I'm sure every program does, but it's a good way for the older guys to get to know the young guys because I know when I came up, freshmen didn't really talk to seniors. The seniors kind of were on their own pedestal, and you kind of looked up to those guys, but they kind of looked at you like, hey man, I mean, you're not gonna help us because you're a little freshman. Over here, I believe that's different, man. Like the younger guys are just as vital to the older guys, and I tell my juniors through freshmen all the time, like, hey man, it's not your season. You playing for the seniors. It's their season. They're on the clock, so every day that they're in here, you working to extend their season, and
Right,
the older guys are buying into that as well, and they're starting to, just create that brotherhood with the younger guys, man. Because again, they never know. It might be a freshman that might have to play up the varsity, but the
right,
only way you're gonna get that guy to that level is as an older guy. You take him under your wing and you kind of teach him. You
right.
know.
Man, seems like you got the plan figured out, man. All those are really great attributes to have. You know, you, although you've been in the game 15, 16 years,
Mm.
a lot of times guys don't get to understand and comprehend. We say the acronym team all the time. Together, everybody achieves more. But sometimes we hardly ever see that go into fruition. And so it looks like you put it into place. And again, the stamp comes, man. And like you said earlier, the stamp doesn't always come with winning a state championship or being 8 times straight district champs, or the stamp comes when you have kids and they graduate high school. That's a stamp. They go on to go to college, and that's a stamp. And they graduate college, that's a stamp. But the best stamp I think that a kid can give you as a coach is when they return to help you further build something that they were a part of. And giving back is no greater gift than giving back in this world, man. So man, hey, you got it, man. That's
I I appreciate that, but I mean, to me, I'm nowhere near trying to figure it out. Like every day, I pull on somebody, man, whether it's talking to Coach Holmes, or reaching out. Coach Washington talks to me a bit. I've talked to Coach Ty Russ, and he's told me plenty of times, like, hey man, Coach, whatever you need, just give me a call, man. And that's the thing I look at is I always try to pull, from coaches that been there. Like even though I've been coaching for a decent amount of years, like I'm still, learning. And that's how I look at it, man. Like I don't have a blueprint for success at all, man. I'm just going on a path that's here for me. But I'm fortunate enough to be able to pull on guys, like a Coach Jones at Madison Prep to ask them questions and see, what they did and try to figure out on my own way. Like I'm again, our name is Trailblazers, and we literally trying to blaze a trail over here at Lake Charles College Prep, and it is nowhere near where I want to be. And me understand that every day I got to come to work because I'm humble to know that, man, I ain't nothing. Like I'm just a guy that's out here trying to pay it forward to the next generation, and hopefully, you never know, I might inspire one of my players to get in this profession. And that's what happened to me. So I'm fortunate enough to have guys to talk to kind of help me understand the path of how to build a program as well as trying to pay it forward to my kids. So I'm kind of like that bridge right now. Like I got
I'm
coaching
laughing. I'm
and
laughing.
all that, you know.
I'm real life laughing at you.
Uh-huh.
Again, I knew Matt. I know Matt Guillory. Uh, saw him as a head coach at Prep.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Kevin Hunt is my brother. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, COVID kind of destroyed him and his
Mm-hmm.
season there. But when you go from 9 wins to 16 wins to 26 wins,
Mm-hmm.
you definitely figured out something because Lake Charles still isn't back fully integrated to
Right.
where the whole community is vibrant and thriving.
Right.
So, man, don't and being humble is great, man. I'm just gonna tell you, being humble is great. We all need a taste of it. Humility is something that this world can stand a good grip of. But
Mm-hmm.
when you have success, you can't put your success under your feet either, because you'll always be looking for something that you've already created. Like you've created it. Like, how many teams want to win 26 games in a season? I mean,
Yes.
how many
I
teams
wish
want
I could win 26 again next year, man. I don't know if we go get it, but we go try.
again. So if you scheduled a tougher schedule than the previous year, 7 players coming back, it's a great possibility because everybody doesn't evolve and revolve in the same facet, the same manner. Like, man, self high five yourself, man.
Yeah,
Pat yourself on the back.
man.
It's
It's
okay if you do that. But
like
remember that
hey,
you can't wallow in it.
right.
You can't wallow in it, but it's okay to say, damn, I did a good job, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things again, like I said earlier, you're only as good as your assistant. And so I give that to, my staff, man. Like I have a great staff. I got, a director of basketball operations. She handles like all the fundraising and the things so that, my staff can coach and I can coach. You know what I'm saying? And my assistant coaches, man, I've been having, two of the guys have been with me for the past 2 years, going on three. And I got, another assistant that I added last year, and it's their work, that has helped this program get to where it is in year two. And also the kids, man. Again, like I can draw up any kind of play, alley oop play, this, that, and other, man. But at the end of the day, the kids got to execute. So the kids buying in and trusting into myself and this staff. That's what it really is, man. Like those 26 wins that go to the kids, man. Like I had a bunch of kids that would play hard, man, and that's all the coach can ask for. Like you're not gonna win every game, but if every game your team can go out there and lay its mark by playing our style of basketball, then I live with it. Like we had a bunch of times where even after a loss, I told my kids, man, I'm proud of you, I love you because man, y'all fought, and
Right.
though the outcome wasn't what it was supposed to be in terms of what we thought, we fought for it. And that's all I could ask, man. Just don't lay down, man. Like don't ever lay down. So I'm so proud of my kids and my staff. And that's what it is. Like I might be the figurehead, but success doesn't come by from one person. Success comes when you have a group of us and we pull each other. So like that's the real factor in why the program is starting to have a little successes. The kids and my staff, man.
No doubt, man. Hey, we'd like to thank Coach Sean Andrus for joining us, man. Again, man, let's come back after summer league is up. Let's come back, chop it up, man, and see where you guys had another growth pattern where you learned a little bit more about yourself. You guys are always welcome. Again, because I've had a solid relationship with Coach Freddie uh, and several other coaches that was there. Coach Cahey and myself. We've
Yeah.
also
First
you
state
know
champion coach over at Lake Charles College Prep, Coach Cahey, man.
right
Like
track.
that dude right there. He gonna change some things at Walsman. I'm a firm believer in that.
So we I think a good friend to the Trailblazers program. People may not see it because their eyes are wide closed. But hey, man, gotta love it, man. Continued success to you and your team and the rest of the programs there. I know you guys have done great things on the football field as well. Seven D1 commitments, signings just 3 years ago. And you guys, I know, are really looking to get back forward to that mark. You guys have a great administrative staff there that just believes in the product that they built from the ground up. So, congratulations. Thank you. Hey, any shout outs, coach?
Yeah, man. Of course, shout out to, the my kids and my coaching staff, but also, the other coaches as well over here, Lake Charles College Prep. Like, it's a mentality we have over here, man. Prep well, no way. And, you really got to get it out the mud over here, man. So I appreciate, Coach Franklin, Coach O, all the coaches over here that really grind and, iron sharpens iron. They make me work every day, man, because you don't want to be that program that's not, doing your job over here. So shout out to them, and of course, my parents and everybody else, man. And shout out to you as well, man. Like I appreciate you having me on your platform. And like it's very important to let coaches speak, let everybody speak, man, because I think sometimes, it's a disconnect between, the audience, the fans and the coaches. Like everybody just look at it as, hey man, are you winning or losing? Winning. Nah, man, everybody really here for these young people. The people in the stands, that might be your son, daughter, whoever it is to your family member, and us as coaches, man, we out here, we trying to build these young people. So we all in it for the right reasons. And you giving us the opportunity to speak and let people kind of see us personally, man. I think that'll help bridge that gap sometimes that we have between, coaches and fans, man. So I really appreciate your platform, man.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you saying that, man. That's all we try to do here, man. Is put the whole state together to where people can see, like you said, and visualize. Like even though they may not know you personally, now they get a sense or resemblance of who Sean Andrus is and what he cares about. Because sometimes we will downplay or downgrade someone's hard work, and we don't even know their last name.
Right. Just that
Right.
coach over there, man. That's what it is. That coach over there don't know what he's talking about, man. Hey, that's one of the things that you hear all the time. So it's funny, but it's like, hey, bro, we over here for the kids, man. You can't win and lose everything. I mean, nobody perfect. We all
Right.
human.
And so I'm going to say this, and we're going to go in my final thoughts. Everybody has a way that they do things. Your way is just your way. It doesn't mean that it'll work for me, you, the guy across town, because they have their own way of doing it as well. Just make sure that the way you do it, you give it a little TLC. And that's tough love and consistency. And everything will always work out in that manner because the kids respect tough love and consistency. Uh, as you said, Coach, they don't know how much you care until they know you care. Thank you guys for joining us today. I think we may have a little something special for you later on today. I never know. I just never know. But tomorrow, very special guest. He was a little sports car back in his days in the LHSAA realm. We're going to have Ephraim Reed, former Dutchtown High School Griffins, All State, All Metro standout. So he'll be joining us tomorrow. Hey, I'm looking forward to that, man. I always like to see young men who grew up and just figured life out in their own way, in their own facet, and what they wanted to do and what they believe in. And we're gonna just chop it up, man. Y'all know how we do it here. We try to keep it as happy as can be. I want you to be happier when you leave than when you got here. So remember, get off the bench, get into the